What if the smartest money in the world, the kind that quietly shapes markets, moves governments, and builds trillion-dollar empires, is already making a massive shift, and almost no one is paying attention? What if, right now, behind the scenes, a silent migration is happening out of traditional systems and into something most people still don't fully understand? Because while headlines distract the public, capital is repositioning. And the destination might redefine wealth for the next decade. But here's where things get interesting. This isn't just about Bitcoin. And it's not just about AI. It's about why the most sophisticated investors on Earth are betting on both at the exact same time. So the real question is this: why are hedge funds, billionaires, and institutions quietly moving into Bitcoin and artificial intelligence now? What do they see that the average person doesn't? And more importantly, is this the beginning of a new financial era, or the setup for the biggest miscalculation in modern history? By the end of this video, you'll understand the hidden logic behind this shift, the strategy driving smart money, and the one insight that could determine whether you're early or left behind. To understand what's happening today, you have to understand how money has always moved. For decades, smart money followed a predictable pattern. First, it flowed into tangible assets like real estate. Then into equities, especially high-growth technology. And when uncertainty hit, it retreated into bonds, gold, and cash. It was a cycle. A system. A playbook. But that system is starting to crack. Global debt is at historic highs. Currencies are being diluted faster than ever. And central banks, once seen as stabilizers, are now being questioned. At the same time, technology is accelerating at a pace we've never seen before. Artificial intelligence is no longer theoretical. It's operational. Scalable. And already reshaping industries. And Bitcoin, once dismissed as a niche experiment, is now being treated as something far more serious. But here's the key detail most people miss. Smart money doesn't chase trends. It anticipates them. The first reason smart money is moving into Bitcoin and AI is control. Or more specifically, the lack of it. Bitcoin represents something radically different from traditional finance. No central authority. No manipulation of supply. No reliance on trust. For investors who've spent decades navigating systems influenced by policy, politics, and inflation, Bitcoin offers something rare. Predictability. A fixed supply in a world of endless printing. And that alone makes it attractive. But here's where things get interesting. It's not just about protecting wealth. It's about positioning for a future where traditional systems may no longer dominate. At the same time, AI offers the opposite kind of power. Not protection, but acceleration. The ability to scale intelligence, to automate decisions, to create exponential growth with minimal human input. So, while Bitcoin acts as a hedge, AI acts as a multiplier. And smart money is positioning for both sides of that equation. But the real story goes deeper than that. Because this isn't just about diversification. It's about convergence. For the first time in history, a decentralized financial system and an exponentially intelligent technology are evolving at the same time. And that combination is powerful. Think about it. AI thrives on data, speed, and computation. Bitcoin thrives on decentralization, security, and scarcity. Individually, they're disruptive. Together, they could reshape how value is created, stored, and transferred. But here's the twist most people don't see. The same institutions that once dismissed Bitcoin are now building infrastructure around it. And the same companies leading the AI revolution are becoming some of the biggest beneficiaries of this shift in capital. This isn't coincidence. It's coordination. Smart money isn't choosing between Bitcoin and AI. It's building a future where both coexist. So, what's really happening here? At its core, this is a shift from industrial age systems to digital age dominance. Bitcoin represents a new form of money. Not backed by governments, but by mathematics and consensus. AI represents a new form of labor. Not powered by humans, but by algorithms and data. And when you combine those two forces, you get something entirely new. A system where value can be created, stored, and transferred without traditional intermediaries. That's why smart money is paying attention. Because they're not just investing in assets. They're investing in infrastructure. They're asking questions like, what happens when AI optimizes trading strategies 24/7? What happens when decentralized networks handle financial transactions globally? What happens when trust is no longer required, because systems are verifiable? But here's where things get even more interesting. This shift isn't happening all at once. It's happening in layers. First, institutions accumulate exposure quietly. Then infrastructure gets built. Then narratives change. And finally, the public catches on. By the time most people recognize the opportunity, the biggest gains are already behind. And that's exactly why smart money moves early. Not because it's obvious, but because it isn't. But let's be clear. This isn't a guaranteed path to wealth. And smart money knows that too. Bitcoin is volatile. Its price can swing dramatically in short periods. Regulation remains uncertain. Governments may try to control or limit its adoption. And while AI is powerful, it's also unpredictable. Rapid advancements could disrupt entire industries, but they could also create new risks. Job displacement, ethical concerns, concentration of power in a few dominant players. And then there's the biggest risk of all: timing. Being right about the future, but wrong about when it happens. Because markets don't move in straight lines. They move in cycles. Hype, correction, adoption, expansion. And if you enter at the wrong phase, even the best idea can feel like a bad investment. That's why smart money doesn't just invest. It strategizes. It staggers entries. It hedges positions. And most importantly, It stays patient. So where does that leave us? In a world where the foundations of money and intelligence are both being rewritten at the same time. Where Bitcoin challenges how we store value, and AI transforms how we create it. And somewhere in between, smart money is quietly building its position. Not loudly, not emotionally, but strategically. Because they understand something most people don't. The biggest opportunities don't feel obvious in the moment. They feel uncertain, confusing, even risky. But years later, they look inevitable. So, the real question isn't whether Bitcoin and AI will shape the future. It's already happening. The real question is, when you look back at this moment, will you realize you saw it early? Or realize you missed it entirely? Because while the world debates, smart money is already moving. And the gap between those who understand and those who don't is getting wider every day. Thank you and subscribe now.